What's up, Jags fans? We are back on a Wednesday night for another Jaguars United live show. Let's go, boys. I am pumped. I'm ready to go. I just got off the golf course like 30 minutes ago. Jumped in the shower. I had the show ready to go already, so I didn't have to do much. Super excited. If you're wondering, I did not play great golf today. I played a course, a lot of woods. Hit a few balls OB. That kind of really crushed my score taking those drops. But I still salvaged and managed to stay under 100, which if you're not professional like me, that's all I really aim for. But, you know, it was very therapeutic. So thanks for asking. Hey, we're talking Jags offense tonight. So we're going to be previewing the Jags offense. I have some film to break down. It's some assorted clips from last season, some good stuff, some bad stuff. We're going to be talking about what the difference between last year's offense and this year's offense. The next show is going to be about defense. Oh, yeah, look at that. So we're talking all Jags offense tonight. So obviously the big loss from last year was Calvin Ridley. Big addition, Brian Thomas Jr. You also look at Anton Harrison taking the next step of year 2, who looked really good last year. You look at potentially having Cam Robinson for more than 8 or 9 games, right? We'd love to have him for more than that. That'll be good. Ezra Cleveland, hopefully healthy. Brandon Sheriff's been injured for 15 years. So hopefully everyone's healthy. Hopefully everyone's good. We like Travis Etienne. Tank Bigsby hopefully takes that second step. But we're talking all things Jags, obviously Trevor being the hinge point for all of the offense. So we're going to take a look at some of the offensive stuff. This is a fan show, though. Fan show. So get in the comments. Let me know what you think. What are you expecting from the offense? What are you expecting from the Jags' new additions, from the Jags players taking that next step this year? What are you looking for? What do you want to see? What differences do you want to see? All things Jags. If you want to, you can really talk about anything you want. I really don't care. Just whatever you want. Get in the comments and do that. Follow the channel. Subscribe to the Instagram. I would say follow me on Twitter, but I have been off Twitter for a while, and I don't miss it. Don't miss it at all. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry if any of you are hurt by that, but I do not miss it at all. I think I'll go back, but I don't really know what's going on. I listen to local radio. I read Jags Reddit. Beyond that, I don't get much Jags information. Obviously, I'm hearing the things about the Tyson Campbell extension happening. We can talk about that if you want. But I'm seeing the things from camp and how everyone looks good in camp and all of that. But we're talking all things Jags offense. So get in the chat. Tell me what you think about the Jags offense, how you think it'll look. Obviously, everyone wants Doug Peterson to call plays rather than Press Taylor. We can get into that here in a bit. You guys kind of already know my take on that, I think. But I'll say it again. I'll say it again later. First person in the chat, Raw Jeebs, says, let's go, baby. Ace Sharpshooter says, finally, damn. Well, Ace, this is like my 4th show in like 5 days. So you better have those notifications on so you know. Nolly Full Cab, the first channel member in the chat, he spams the Blake Bortles emojis. Matthew McCrae says, what's good? So I actually putt pretty well today. That's what's good. I typically am not a good putter. But the guy I was playing with today, my buddy, he was a little late. He was coming from work. So we teed off like 10 minutes later than we were supposed to. So I was on the putting green like waiting for him. I got some good putts in today. The greens were terrible where I played. I played at Windsor today. I love the course layout. I hate how they maintain the greens. There's some greens that are legit sand. You're putting on sand. So when I say I shot under 100, if the greens had been like grass, there's a chance that I would have scored better. But I putt well. Hit the driver well in the back 9, but that's okay. That's okay. Jaggernaut says, what's up, Jags United? Robert Atzert says, damn, is it Christmas? Rajib says, full-time streamer over here. Hey, I got some time off, so I'm taking advantage of it. UCF Jaguars says, first. If you haven't checked out UCF Jaguars, which I'm sure you all have because most of you came over from UCF Jaguars channel, I was on his show last night for about 10 minutes at the end. So go to you can watch the whole thing, but I went on at the end and talked all things Jags. Actually, not that much about Jags, but more about UCF Jaguar, which is what I'm more interested in, to be honest. You know, because I'm interested in people. I'm a people person. I'm a sociologist, right, by nature. What's up, UCF? Can't wait for the new show. All right, so I wanted UCF to announce it. Okay, I wanted UCF Jaguar to announce it. because it's his thing, and he's like spearheading it, and he's the one that's going to make it popular and going to make it big. I understand all that, right? I get all that. I wanted him to be the one that announces it. Starting in the Jag season, UCF Jaguar, Jordan DeLugo, and me are going to be doing a weekly show on Wednesday nights. Pretty excited about it. I'm going to have to – here's my – and I know, if you came here to watch the Jags offense, I'm sorry. I talk. I'm sorry I talk. Fast forward a bit. When you see the clips of the film, then you'll know when I've started it. But here's my challenges. Here are my challenges are going to be. The first thing is I have like a initial instinct and innate feeling to want to like crack jokes and make fun of people. It's a downfall. It's probably my biggest flaw. And I have to constantly check myself to not do that. So because it's not going to be my show, my challenge is going to be like, all right, you think this is funny in your head. Don't say it. It's probably not funny. So that's challenge number one. Challenge number two is going to be, I'm typically more of like a high energy person. I've been this way my whole life. This is not an act. This is not a charade that I put on for you guys. I legit am like this in real life. And if we ever go to a Jags game, if you ever see me at a Jags game, I see people all the time at Jags games. And like, oh, Jags United. And like, I always try to get a beer with them or a drink with them. This is who I am in real life. I'm very high energy. So sometimes it's not appropriate to be high energy. So I need to kind of maybe back it down a bit at times. I will do my – so those are my two challenges going forward. I'm going to try to do that. So that's it. Raw Jeeb says commit to the joke. The problem is sometimes the joke's inappropriate and bad timed and maybe offensive. So it runs through a tiny filter in my head. The filter will be more thorough on that show. Promise. Scout's honor. I was not a Scout's. I don't know. Is that Star Trek? Scout's honor. Okay. Tiger Talk says, I met Adam Gotsis' friend at my work in Australia, which I thought was pretty cool. I've been to Australia. I surfed in Australia. Sick country. Now, it's pre-COVID. I heard post-COVID it's gotten a little downhill. Don't know. It's a secondary source. But Australia's sick. They were so nice. They were so awesome. I've told the story before. My surfboards got damaged on the way to Australia, and we went to a surf shop, and the surf shop let us borrow surfboards for free. Line up surf shop. I will never forget. Amazing. I love it. Jags United. I just got off the course. It was terrible. A fellow golfer. Man, I love it. One of the good things about living in Jacksonville is the golf courses here are insane, bro. You're never a stone's throw away from a good golf course. I think like if you Google golf capital of the world, it may say Hilton Head. It may say Arizona. But on that list will be Jacksonville. And I firmly believe that Jacksonville is the golf capital of the world. Absolutely. BT channel member says, Duval came for the Jags talk, staying for the life advice. I don't have any life advice ready to go. But as these things typically happen, they come up. And again, this is not, I don't want anyone to think that I'm someone that has it all figured out, because I am not. We are all in this together trying to be better people. And if we're a better person tomorrow than we were today, that's a good day. I'm here for the Clavon glazing, says Tiger Talk. Well, unfortunately, Clavon's no longer with us. Rod Jeeb says commit to the joke. Yeah. Be yourself, man. Well, I will. At the end of the day, I will be. But being myself is going through those cues, knowing some things that I need to be better at, and so that's what I do. Chef Florida Boy says, hey, brother. I think there's an Avicii song that goes along with there. Washington State Jags fan says, hey, Jags United. Good to see you again. Washington State Jags fan, good to see you again. Absolutely. I just got in. Love making a live show. Excited for Club Jaguar. I don't think there's anything I'm more excited for on earth. And I'm golfing on Saturday. So there's nothing that I'm more excited for than that. Better late than never, says Cali Jag. Cali Jag just recently followed me on Twitch. My Twitch is down below. Again, I'm off for some time. So I'm either on here or I'm on Twitch or I'm golfing. So follow my Twitch. If you're not into Twitch, suck it up and get into Twitch. Cool. All right, there you go. Hey, Jags United. What's up, Brett? Robert Lamison says, do you think Trevor and Josh will take on leadership roles next season? I think they took on leadership roles last season. It just didn't really seem to have much effect, which is a great transition to the offense. Sorry that it took so long. I can't help it. I have problems. I have a lot of problems. Okay, so here's the good. I have a good folder and I have a bad folder. Just so y'all know. We're going to start with the good folder, okay? So I went through, I don't know, 8 games maybe, and just pulled some clips from like 8 different games. So we're gonna go through there. Here's some things that I think, and again, you guys know, I rewatch the film actually multiple times because I watch it all 22 and then I rewatch it. So like if you don't know, all 22 shows you sideline and end zone. So I watch every play twice and then I rewatch it. So what I'm showing you here is like one clip. And if you're a critical thinker like myself and you think to yourself, all right, you just like cherry picked one play, that's a fair critique. But what I'm trying to tell you is that I didn't cherry pick. I found some common trends throughout the offense and plays, and I would see them multiple times, and I was like, okay, they definitely like this play. So I think you will see this play, obviously, with the new receiving group of Gabe Davis, Brian Thomas Jr., if Devin Duvernay gets in there. It's going to look different with the players, but the concepts will stay the same because it's that Andy Reid, Doug Peterson, Press Taylor, yes, I know you guys hate to hear that, concepts. So this is what you're going to see probably a lot of. Okay, so this was early in the season, so you got Walker Little at left tackle. So here you see a very common formation out of the Jags. Okay, so this is called 10 personnel. Ooh, I don't like blue on the field. I like yellow on the field. So we call this 10 personnel. If you're new here, 10 personnel just basically means this first number is the amount of running backs, because I'll reference this a lot. And the second number is the number of tight ends. Now, we get into some issues here because Evan Ingram is technically a tight end. But I made the argument when we talked about him getting the franchise tag. It's not fair because he's a receiver. Now, every once in a while, he lines up with his hand in the dirt. So he's classified on the end of the line of scrimmage, so he can be classified as a tight end. But when you look at the franchise tag is you take the top 5 salaries and you average them together, and that's what the franchise tag gets. If you take the top 5 tight ends salaries and the top 5 receivers salaries, they're wildly different. So the fact that Evan Ingram had to take the top 5 tight end salaries averaged is a little disservice to him. This brings up problems for us when we talk about the personnel. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but there will be times when you see Evan Ingram lined up as a receiver, and I'll call it 10 personnel, but technically he is a tight end. So if you get mad about that, I'm sorry. I'm not really getting into it that deep. But this 10 personnel, 10 gun, because he's obviously in shotgun. The Jags run a lot of shotgun, probably a little too much because the teams know when we're under center, we're probably running unless it's a play action. Then they know to just check play action or run. So here you're going to see 10 personnel. This is called 2x2. So we got 10 personnel, and we call it 2x2. We call it 2x2 because you read left to right like a book. So you have 2 receivers here and 2 receivers here. So it's 2x2. If there was trips, you'd call it 3x1, whatever reason. So if I say 10 personnel, 2x2, you can know in your head there's 1 running back, 0 tight ends, and there's 2 receivers on the other side. The last thing we're going to say to classify this type of formation is we'll call it tight. So 10 personnel, 2x2 tight. And the reason why is because you have all of your wide receivers pretty tight to the line of scrimmage. They're not out to the sidelines. They're pretty tight. I'm a known critic of the tight personnel. I understand it works on mesh concepts and things like that. But why not make the defense play the entire 50, whatever, some odd yards of the field? So now, look, the defense gets to play in a shrunken field. Not a huge fan of that. That's basically how the spread offense started, was to spread the field. But there's concepts here. All right, so 10 personnel. This is going to be a curl to Christian Kirk. All right, so if we watch it back again, this is actually what we call a mesh concept. All right, so a mesh concept is when you have drags from both sides of the field. Okay, so we're going to see Evan Ingram dragging and Calvin Ridley dragging across the field. This basically just makes if you're in zone, it makes the linebackers have to communicate the crossers. If you're in man, you can kind of rub route. But basically, it makes the linebackers, and if you're playing a flat corner basically means this guy here is playing flat. He's not playing deep. Yeah, I guess he's a nickel safety or a nickel corner. The flat guys, they have to communicate these crosses. It gets their eyes on what's happening here, and they potentially could lose track of another guy here. Right? So here you're going to see Christian Kirk fall into the curl here. And look, this is a tight window. Like, this is a tight window Trevor has to throw into. Again, the reason why I'm a critic of the tight personnel is because, again, you made the defense play in a pretty shallow umbrella. And so now this corner, who's playing what looks like a cover 3 type corner with 1 high safety, he has an easier read here where if you would have lined up wide, maybe he couldn't have gotten here as quickly. But this corner would have been way out here. So that's just that's the give and take you have there. Tight window, grid throw to the inside shoulder. I think I have this from the reverse angle because I do like this window that Trevor threw into. Nice protection. Good throw there. So you're going to see a lot of that. You have Evan Ingram on that play a lot as well because he's kind of like your short yardage guy. All right, another thing they like to do is like deep comeback route. Okay, so here you are going to see them. This is against the Colts. This was the first game against the Colts. So here you're going to see them in what's called ace. Okay, so we'll call this ace because they have one running back in the backfield and he's under center. Okay, they have 2 tight ends in here. So ace, 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends. Typically when the Jags line up in this, they're running the ball. Okay, so again, when you're lined up like this, your defense is thinking it's either run or play action. So here you're reading a play action. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys in the box. So they're expecting the run. They're trying to stuff the run here. You're going to see a nice play action. Calvin Ridley's going to do a comeback route. They did this the year before when they didn't have Calvin Ridley. So you know Trevor likes this comeback route here. Play action, freeze the linebackers. The thing to look at here is not only does Calvin Ridley do a good job of working back to the ball and making a catch, but this was a commitment to the play action. You're going to see Zay Jones is going to run like a little deep crossing route. I think one of these guys releases, but with the 8-man in the box, you're not going to be open. So Trevor really only has 2 options. It's this deep comeback or this deep drag, and that's really all he has here. Trevor does a good job here. Calvin really does a good job here. Watch Calvin really run this route. Watch him. Great job. You're going to see a lot of that. All right. Here's another concept they like. The mesh route. We call the mesh route. Remember the last 2 plays ago was the shallow crosser. They also like the deep crosser. So just like the deep comeback, you have to have protection. You have to have time. They're lined up here in 11 personnel because they have 1 tight end. They have 1. Oh, I'm sorry. They are in. I got a text. Hold on. Oof. Don't like that. Okay. They are in 12 gun personnel, which you don't see very often. Okay. You don't see very often. They have 1, 2 tight ends here. They're lined up tight. Again, you can see the Colts are playing like this shallow area of the field. And watch the deep crosses here. So Christian Kirk, again, this is a 20-yard drag route from Christian Kirk here. Across the field here. Ridley, I guess, is going to technically run a skinny post. I didn't see what the tight ends did. Let's see what the tight ends do here. So they're both just going to do a little block and release here. So you have a block and release, a block and release. You have a deep drag, and you have a skinny post. Colts look like they're playing some sort of zone coverage again, like a little cover 3. Like at this point, think about it. Like look at the coverage, look at the offense. Like no one is open. So Trevor has to have time to know that Kirk's going to work across the middle of the field. Now, there's not a lot of time here. Not a lot of time on this play. At the end of the season, they even had less time. Even less time. So you're going to see here less time at the end of the season. We have some clips from there coming. Not a bad pocket. Just throws a strike. Christian Kirk down the field. Again, great play. We'll take it all the time. Another staple of their offenses was against the Titans. First time, I believe. You're going to see an Evan Ingram curl. Now, this is basic. It's easy. It's boring. But this is the reason why Evan Ingram literally almost broke the single-season reception record is because of this type of play right here. And you're going to see, this is a pretty funky formation. They are in, this is what I'm talking about. They're in 11 gun with 1 running back and 1 tight end. But look at the alignment of Evan Ingram. Look, he's got, that's a full yard of spacing between the tackle and him. So, if I'm a defensive player, and I'm sure the Titans were cued on this, they are seeing that Evan Ingram is probably going to be running a route. If I was a defensive player, I would guess that they were doing some sort of in and out concept, which is why I think this worked. I can't remember what the concept is. But just a quick curl. A quick curl here. You're going to see that it's not quite a flood, right? A flood is when everything comes to the throwing side of a rollout. But they do have kind of everyone working to the middle of the field. And Trevor takes the easy throw and catch. Nice. Gain of 7. It's a staple of the offense. Another thing they like to do is the jet sweep. Here you're going to see the jet sweep. They're an ace. Hand it to Ridley. Gets upfield, first down. Now, who are they going to do this with? Maybe Devin Duvernay, maybe Brian Thomas Jr., but I do like this play. They're going to run this a lot. Nice job getting upfield. Nice job. One of my favorite route concepts is the wheel, right? A wheel route is like where you like line up in the slot like Kirk is here, and then like you're going to work upward, and then you're going to run a wheel to the sideline. And then this puts this linebacker in a bad spot. It puts this corner in a bad spot. So corners are supposed to do, like when you're playing defense, you're supposed to do what's called read 2 to 1. So 2 to 1, we call this the 1 receiver, this the 2 receiver. So we call this reading 2 to 1. So this corner is supposed to read this receiver, and then whatever he does tells him what his job is. So a wheel route makes reading 2 to 1 pretty difficult because it looks like a vertical, then it looks like an out, but then it's a wheel. So here you're going to see a nice little route concept here. Wide open. And you can see he even does a little like a little fake like he's blocking, and this is where the play action works. The Jags run a little play action. It's a little soft play action, but he's going to act like he's blocking, and he's going to release on the wheel. And this is just the corner's going to bail because, again, he's reading 2 to 1. So he's going to bail here. This puts this linebacker in a precarious situation, and you're going to see him throw the wheel up on the sideline. Bam. All day. Great call. Great concept. The out route is obviously a staple. Here you're going to see they're in 10 personnel, 2x2. They have Evan Ingram out here to the sideline, which makes you think that he's going to run a short route. Although at times they do run him deep. They don't ever throw it too many runs deep, but they do run him deep sometimes, especially not in this part of the field where it's not really a jump ball situation. But here you're going to see a nice little out route. I don't know if it's from Ridley or from – oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a little slot out. Okay. So I like this. Kirk's going to run the slot out from the bottom of your screen. I mean, that's a tight window right there. It's a tight window. Good throw, Trevor. That's why he's about to get paid. Putting Trevor on the move in a play-action boot. This is against the Colts. Here we're going to see they're under center, right? So the Colts are going to kind of stack the box. They got 2 tight ends to the right here. So they obviously are going to – they want them to think they're running some sort of play here. The strong side of the defense, this is before Milano got hurt, your strong ends. The strong side of the defense is to the left, so they could run a little weak run over here. Instead, they're going to run a play action and put Trevor on the move. When I saw this play, I really wished Ridley would have just like cleaned this guy out right here. Like a smart move, you would have gotten flagged. You also could have held the ball for like a split second longer if you're Trevor. Like he throws it here, taking the safe throw. But look at this concept here. I love this concept. This drag from Ridley, this release, this corner by Ingram. I mean, this is this is what we call a layers concept. Okay, so you have a short pass here, you have a mid pass here, and you have a deep pass here. So Trevor opts for the safe pass, which we all like him to do, but this layer concept, Calvin Ridley would have been wide open. Take a look here again. So they love that layers, though. All right, here we're going to see, I know Calvin Ridley's the centerpiece of a lot of this offense, but he was their best offensive receiver last year. Watch Calvin Ridley here. He's going to score a touchdown. I believe it's a deep drag or it's a skinny post. I can't remember. I did this yesterday. I'm sorry, guys. It's against the Falcons. Yeah, a little skinny post. Oh, just a vertical. This is a little coverage bust. Looks like the corner didn't know if he was in cover 3 or cover 1. He bites up on Trevor's front shoulder. Trevor does a good job of evading the blitz here. And Ridley's wide open. Tutty. My favorite concept in all of football is called the smash concept. The smash concept is my favorite concept because it layers the sideline high and low. Okay, so basically what a smash concept is one receiver goes to the pylon, one receiver goes to the back pylon. It puts yourself in a bad position if you're a defensive player. It can beat zones. It can beat mans. It's especially a one high safety coverage beater. So if you're a one high safety, basically you have one guy in the middle of the field. That means you're either in cover 3 or you're in cover 1 when cover 1's just man with a one high safety. So here you're going to see at the top of your screen, they're going to run a little smash concept here, making the corner have to pick between the two. So there you go. You have your layer, you have your high-low, you have your pylon, you have your corner route, chasing that. I mean, it's a hard throw to make, but this close to the end zone, you got to be ready for it. You have to play inside leverage if you're this defensive back because you can't give up an inside release. So this corner route is just there all day. Tutty. Hold on. Sorry, this is bad. This is bad YouTube etiquette to text in the middle. But I got some friends trying to get me to go out, and I have to tell them that I have like 30 more minutes before I can go. And I probably won't go. Like, why would I want to go? Like, yeah, I'm off. And yeah, everything's free. But why do that when I could hang out here and talk Jags with you guys? Gavin Baker says, let's go. I made it live. Hi, Mom and Dad. Hi, Gavin Baker's mom and dad. That dude, Evan, channel member, says Luke Farrell is always good for a nice bootleg check down every other game. I like Luke Farrell. He is what he is. Timmy Devil says, what up, Timmy? I miss Timmy around here. We need to find more ways to get more touchdowns out of our tight ends. Yeah, I think Evan Ingram not scoring touchdowns was kind of weird there for a while. This play I wish they would get back to more. This is like what I would call a speed counter. And football coaches could argue terminology, but football coaches argue terminologies all the time. So this is what's called a speed counter. So a counter just basically means like you have the flow of the play going one way, but then obviously you run it the other direction. So they're going to run what's called a speed counter here. I like this play. I guess it's not a speed counter. I guess the football coaches would be right. I forgot that they put ETN in motion. Okay, so they put ETN in motion to the right side, and he's going to just run basically an inside zone to the left. I do like this though because you put him in motion pre-snap, and it kind of throws off the defense. Again, they're calling the strength to wherever the tight end is and where they think the ball is going to go. You have your strong side players playing the field because you think that if they do run an inside zone or they're in an outside zone, your strong side players are the guys that can take on blocks, get off blocks, and make tackles. Your weak side players are more your coverage guys, your speed guys. So if you can get the ball run to the weak side with good blocking, you usually have a good chance at getting a good run here. So that's what the Jags do. They're really creative here with the pre-snap motion. Good blocking. Fortner does nothing. Shocker. But good play, and I like it. Trevor rolling out. Finally, we get an empty set. Right? Empty set's pretty obvious. There's no one in the backfield. They're an empty set formation. 5 wide receivers. You have Brenton Strange. You have Evan Ingram. So 2 tight ends technically, but, they line up as wide receivers. So it is what it is. Here you're going to have Trevor and empty. This is all Trevor right here. These next 2 plays are all Trevor. So this one's all Trevor. Like, listen, if you give a quarterback 5 seconds to throw in the pocket, it's going to be a tutty. Absolute tutty. Again, Calvin Ridley. We're going to miss him. I know we got Brian Thomas Jr., but we're going to miss him. We are definitely going to miss him. Here's Trevor again. I want to see Trevor get back to some of this. This is just him scrambling with nothing open. This is pre-injury Trevor Lawrence, by the way. I want to get back to that. I really do want to get back to that. Volkfang says it's all about red zone efficiency, touchdowns to tight ends, and being able to run the ball with authority in the red zone. We have the same O-line, so I don't know how we're going to be able to I don't know how we're going to be able to do that. All right, the bad. I have more plays in this folder than I thought. I don't remember cutting this many bad plays. Here we go. All right. Against the Browns. All right. We have the Jags here. They pre-snap motion Travis Etienne into the backfield to be in 10-gun personnel. They're going to have a 2-by-1, but the tight end makes it a 3-by-1 because we read left to right. Remember that? The Browns look like they're playing like a pretty soft man-covered coverage 0 man. They got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in the line of scrimmage. So if you release Evan Ingram on a route, you have a 5-on-5. Not good. Not good. So here you go. I mean, it should be good. And now they're bringing some extra pressure from the linebackers. So now we're in trouble. Now we're in absolute trouble. All right, so we're going to take a look here. Trevor gets the ball. Like, Trevor senses the blitz, so this is the right decision. It's just the play call was poor. And you're going to see that theme here a lot. Play call was poor. So you have a deep crossing route by Calvin Ridley. You have a little tunnel screen. And I don't know if he's blocking or running an out. I don't know, but that's not what we want. Okay. So here you're going to see Trevor sees the blitz coming. He knows he's in gun. He's going to get rid of it quick. He actually makes a check pre-snap. If you watch Trevor, look, he takes a look and he like gives him the pre-snap check that he's going to throw the tunnel screen. Watch this. He sees the blitz. So Trevor now sees, okay, they're bringing a blitz. They're in man coverage. We got to get rid of the ball quick. He looks over. There's the check right there. He says, "Hey, bud, I'm throwing you the ball like right away." Unfortunately, not only did the receiver get the call that he's throwing it right away, so did the corner. Unfortunately, and again, this is all Trevor could work with here, because by the time he throws the ball, Calvin Ridley's not even into his route. He's not even into his route. He's got number 6. Who's being blocked by Travis Etienne, being run over by Travis Etienne, and he is about to get smashed here by 6. So this is the right call by Trevor Lawrence. Bad play call. He's going to have to just catch the ball, and he's going to get blown up right away. Unlucky. This was Calvin Ridley just running a bad route. Calvin Ridley here. They're in gun personnel. So the route concept here is sort of like a levels concept. Unfortunately, and this is one thing that people don't talk about a lot with Zay Jones, is Zay Jones gets absolutely bullied here at the line of scrimmage. Absolutely bullied. Like, his job was to get to the outside and create a layers concept. He can take an inside release if he wants, but he could have just taken an outside release. That's probably what I would have done if I were him. I'm also not in the NFL, so it's hard for me to say that like with conviction. But Zay Jones is going to get absolutely bullied at the line of scrimmage. Watch this. So now Trevor's into his drop. He's got his one receiver getting absolutely bullied. Still, I mean, maybe this is holding. I don't know. But, like, he needs to be out here. Like, this is probably the primary read. The secondary read is Calvin Ridley running to a corner route here. And Calvin Ridley can't get any separation from the corner. Like, this is great coverage here. This is really on Zay Jones, just getting absolutely bullied at the line of scrimmage. He tries to fit a tight ball here to Calvin Ridley, and it just doesn't work. Well, let's watch it. Let's watch it fast. Not good. Not good. This is Travis Etienne. So now we're under center. So again, defense is thinking you're either running or play action. All we got to do is to get a read here on what we're doing here. We have 2 tight ends in the game. We have 2 tight ends in the game. Wait a second. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in tackle over. Tackle over. I started counting the wide receivers, and I was missing one. And I was counting the tight ends, and I was missing one. So that means we are in tackle over, boys and girls. And that just means that you have an extra tackle on the field, right? You take a look. You got a center, you got a guard, you got a tackle, and an extra tackle here. Okay, so now the strong side is definitely to the field here. We have a tight end here ready to go. Like, we should be good. We have our beef here ready to go. So I think he tosses it here. Nope, just a little handoff. And we get tackled from the backside. I mean, Roquan Smith's a beast. Roquan Smith's a beast. I mean, I get that. But let's watch it from the reverse angle. I mean, watch Roquan Smith just come in and just... Is that Roquan Smith? Or is that Kyle Hamilton? It's Kyle Hamilton. Yeah, Kyle Hamilton. And Roquan Smith was in on the tackle, but yeah, it's Kyle Hamilton. I mean, he's a beast. He's a beast now. I mean, this is just not good. I mean, Evan Ingram I love Evan Ingram as a receiver. As a blocker, like, you could have – that wasn't the play design. Now, he did walk down late. Not the play design, but you could have at least blown up the hole, right? He just doesn't really do much here. Great play by Kyle Hamilton, though. I got to say, great play by Kyle Hamilton. I am way behind on comments. Mrs. Duval. What up, Mrs. Duval? Finally made it to Alive. Happy to be back. Let's go, Duval. I'm happy you're back, too. Mile High Jaguar says, bye-bye, Backwoods Ridley. No wonder he can't remember what route Suff United. Sorry. Got a couple of Zens that need to be removed. What's up, Mile High Jag? Glad you're here. I'm on a stream rampage right now. Timmy Dell says, I will miss him for sure because no matter what you think about Ridley, he was phenomenal at drawing flags. That is what we will miss. Yeah. Listen, I wanted to keep him, but we can't pay him $90 million. Stephen Giles says, I thought that Ridley made a bunch of mistakes as well, like wrong routes or drop passes. Have you checked how often he did that last season? I haven't, but it was a lot. Robert Lamison, Zay had to tell Calvin where to line up. 100 miles per hour. What up, 100 miles per hour? Chill member. Man, I've been so busy. But go Jags. Being busy is a good thing. But here's the life lesson. Here's the life lesson. Being busy is good. But, and this isn't a life lesson that is going to be like profound to any of you because you all are very smart and you know what's up. Being busy is good, but we know for a fact that when we get older, we will be looking back at when we were younger as like those were the good days. Like as you age, you always look back. Like when you're in your 30s, you're like, oh man, 20s those were it. When you're in your 40s, you're like, oh man, 30s, that's it. 50s, oh man, to be 40 again. 60s, oh, to be 50 again. So like you always look back with like, I wouldn't even want to say nostalgia, but you look back at like those were the good times. So being busy is good, but just keep in mind in the moment that you are going to wish to relive that moment again when you're older. Like right now. We're sitting here talking Jags. This is awesome. I get to talk Jags with you guys. You're talking Jags with me. In 10 years from now, I'm going to look back and be like, those were some of the most fun times of my life, was talking Jags with other Jags fans. So don't let the moment, like, don't get caught up looking forward to the next day. And I'll be really specific and personal with you here for a second. There's times in my life where I'll look at the calendar and I know that my paycheck is going to be like, next Friday or this Friday. And I'm like, all right, on this day when that paycheck drops, I'm going to be so happy. But that's 5 to 7 days away. So I find myself in those 5 or 7 days being like, oh, man, I just need to get through these 5 days. I just need to get through these 7 days. Like, I just got to get through them. I get to that day on the calendar, and then things will be good. But what you're missing is, again, in 10 years, those 5 to 7 days that you're trying to get through are the days you want back. So just keep that in mind. Be responsible. Be busy. Working hard is good. But just remember, those 5 to 7 days that you're counting down, those are the days you're going to want back in 10 years. That's it. That's the life lesson. That's it. Hold on. I'm actually going. I'm actually going to go. So I'm getting picked up. All right. Volkfang says the only way that our O-line can improve is they stay healthy. I don't know what people are expecting when guys were in and out of the lineup. Good point, Volkfang. Health is a huge thing. Trevor being not healthy was a huge thing, 100%. Not missing Wrigley, to be honest. Or Wrigley, by the way, will need to fill that void. Brian Thomas. Can't expect much from a rookie wide receiver. Good point, Timmy. 100 miles per hour says BTJ will have both some wow and WTF and why WTF moments this year. I'm done with the bad. I got more bad. We'll go through them quick. Bad screen. I don't want to, like, okay, it's all he had. Trevor got hurt on this play, I think. but like bad. I mean, it's all he had. No one was open. A bad vertical here. No one's open. Like, what's Trevor supposed to do here? Ingram didn't even have his head turned around. Cam Robinson's going to whiff on a block here. Watch Cam Robinson pulling into the gap. Whiffs on a block. Bro, you're paid $25 million. Make that block. All right, here we go. ETN, just a bad run. I think this was blocked up pretty decent. I think if he would have hit it to like more of the inside, he would have been okay. He had a blocker out there. Ingram, not great there. Could have done a better job blocking, but okay. Another play here against the Titans. No one's open. I don't know what Trevor's supposed to do. Poor play action. You got a little levels concept. No one's open. You got to be better than that. Trevor throwing an interception. This is where Ridley runs the wrong route. Someone already talked about this. He actually makes a check pre-snap if you take a look here. Did I not clip it? I didn't clip it. Trevor makes a check pre-snap. This is after a big play by Evan Ingram. So momentum was on our side. Makes a check to Ridley. Ridley runs a slant when he should have run a vertical. This is 2 bad plays in a row against the Ravens here. A little pre-snap motion to the trips left, to the bunch to the left. We run it here. Okay, this is like 3rd and 1. We get half of a yard, and we get the first down. Then we go to the very next play. We get half of a yard. And look what the Jags do. Hey, that little zone play, that got us half a yard. Hey, you know what? Very next play, let's run it again to the same side and get 1 yard. Like, blows my mind. But I'm not going to get angry because I'm not angry right now. I'm not angry. I am good. This is the offseason. I'm happy. This is a good time in my life. These are the moments I would have went back in 10 years, so I'm not angry. That season already happened. That season, no matter how much we talk about it, no matter what we do, we will. That season will never happen again. It's in the history books. It's on Pro Football Focus. It's on all of that. It happened. We're looking forward to the new now. So, what I think the offense needs to do going forward. I was thinking today because someone on the local radio was talking about like, oh, everyone in the AFC South improved. And I was thinking, like, who were the biggest losses the Jags had last year? Number 1, obviously being Calvin Ridley. Number 2, obviously being Darius Williams. So 2 players that we lost, we replaced with Brian Thomas Jr., Ronald Darby, and Jerry Jones. I don't see that as much of an upgrade. But Jason, we added Mitch Morse instead of Luke Fortner. Good point. Very good point. Great upgrade there at the center position. But Jason, we're going to get healthy this year. I hope so. I do. Beyond that, we added a kicker that doesn't sexually harass stewardess. I'm all about that. I am all about that. Like, let's be a little bit more controlled on airplanes. I get it. There's alcohol involved. Alcohol is going to make you do stupid stuff. If you're someone that's too young to drink, I would just advise you to maybe think about it because the reality of it is that some people can handle drinking and some people can't, and it's unfair and it's stupid and you're gonna feel bad when like your buddy can't handle drinking and you can, and you want to go out and have fun with your buddy, but your buddy can't handle drinking, so you feel bad about drinking because you know if they drink one drink they can't stop and you can. Just know that, because I know there's some young people that watch this channel, so keep that in mind. Okay, not everyone's built the same, not everyone's mind is the same, so be honest with yourself if you're gonna do that on like how you can handle that. But all things are not fair. And you can't be on an airplane sexually harassing stewardesses. You can't. And it's not a money grab because you don't money grab a kicker. No, you don't. So glad we got a new kicker. I hope we're improved. And when I look at teams like the Colts and the Texans and the Titans, and I did an AFC South breakdown on the last show, go back and look at the last show. I did an AFC breakdown already, and we talked about the improvements that those teams made, and we talked about how they look this year versus how we look this year. I look at them as making major improvements and us making minor improvements, unfortunately. Now, the saving grace is that like we should have been good last year. Barring injuries to Trevor, barring injuries to Christian Kirk at the end of the year, barring having Cam Robinson for the whole year, like we should have been better. So minor improvements might be okay, but that's a tough hill to stand on when I watched our team implode at the end of the season. That's a tough hill to stand on. It really is. So minor improvements, I'm hoping, but I'm not naive. I live in reality, and I see Stephon Diggs being added. I see all the additions that the Titans made on defense. I see Joe Mixon. I see the Colts getting Anthony Richardson back. I see the Titans getting Calvin Ridley, and it's just we added Arik Armstead and Mitch Morse. And Timmy was right. You can't expect a lot. Cali Jack, stop it! It was super specific. It was. I had this conversation on the golf course today. I know somebody that's like that. They literally, it's sad because like they can't drink. Because if they drink, they can't stop. And I feel bad because I want to hang out and have fun. And I have no problem stopping. I'm very self-aware. I'm like, I've had enough. I'm good. I have to do something tomorrow, whatever it may be. But some people don't have that in their brain. And like the older you get, the more you learn that. Like that's the reality of it. And it's sad. And it's probably like that way with all the other substances that people do. I don't know. Backed up on comments here, of course. Calvin Carey Canada says BTJ will be turning heads this year. I sure hope so. Volkfang says, I don't think the coaches think they'll get as much out of Brian Thomas as fans do. It'll be nice if he produces, but this offense should be able to operate through Kirk, Ingram, and Gabe Davis. I like that, Volkfang. I'm with there. I think that's a good comment. That's a very good comment. Pokey says, hello. Callie Jag says, 100%. Timmy Dell says, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking fans are overhyping what BTJ will be able to do this year. I agree. I think he'll be good down the road, but 700 yards, 4 touchdowns, 75 catches. I hope I'm wrong. Oh, I do. But you don't see like late round receivers outside of Jordan Jefferson really make a huge splash very often. And I know Justin Jefferson, not Jordan Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is a great example because he was the number 2 at LSU, and so is Brian Thomas Jr. I get that. Kevin says, I made it live. Duval. Callie Jack says, I tell my kids that all the time. Good, Callie. I'm glad. I work with students, so I get the opportunity to give life lessons all the time. Maybe I should be a life coach. A life coach? Do you think anybody, like, how do life coaches make money? Do people pay life coaches? Like, you have to, right? So, like, people pay other people to coach them about life? You think people would pay me for that? Like, what do you charge? Like, and how available do you have to be? Are you, like, on demand 24/7? Are you, I honestly don't know. That's a good question. Any life coaches in the chat? I'd love to hear. Volkfang says, I'm high on BTJ, and I think that he can be outstanding in this offense, but not going to be as forced like Ridley was. Timmy Devil says, break down the bad. Don't shy away from it. Boo, United. Honestly, I have to end this show in an hour because now I guess I'm going to my buddy's soft opening, which I wasn't planning on doing. I really was not. I was planning on like playing some video games tonight and taking it easy. But my buddies, everything's free tonight. It's a soft opening. You got to come. You get free food. And I mean, how am I going to turn that down? And I turned it down. And then I had another buddy who's like, hey, I'll pick you up. So now it's like I turned down being picked up and I turned down free stuff. That's just stupid. I mean, maybe. I have no obligations here. You know, I fed my cat, so good to go. Callie Jack, does anyone think Doug's taking over play calling this season? I don't think so. And this is kind of what I said at the beginning of the show, and I've said before. Like, I don't think, and maybe I'm off here. I genuinely don't think that Doug Peterson and Press Taylor's play calling would be all that different. Press Taylor has been under Doug Peterson for a long time. And that's just like the games that we see, not to mention the hours and hours of meetings that they have together. You don't think that they're calling the same plays at the same time? And you don't think Doug Peterson's on that headset? You don't think Doug Peterson's saying, hey, call these plays in this situation, call these plays in this situation? I promise you the play calling will not be that different between Doug Peterson and Press Taylor. I promise you. I promise you. I know how coaches work. I know how coaching trees work. I know what it's like working under a coach. And I guarantee you that the play calls would be almost identical between Press Taylor and Doug Peterson. And I know, like, we need someone to blame at times. And we don't want to blame Trevor. The O-line we already blame. So, like, who's the next person? It's Press Taylor. But I honestly don't think it's that big of a deal. It's not. This isn't a situation where Bill Belichick's a defensive head coach and the offensive coordinator's coming in and calling plays. This is a situation where our head coach is a former offensive coordinator. So I just don't think it's that different. I really don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Corey T, what up, Corey? Says, we also have ice cream parties in the locker room. You know what people don't want to hear? The best flavor of ice cream is vanilla. It's vanilla ice cream. Vanilla ice cream is just the most amazing flavor of all time. Miss me with that Rocky Road, whatever it is. I don't even know. I don't eat ice cream very often, but when I do eat ice cream, it's vanilla and it's delicious. This defense can be scary like 2017 was. I'm a little worried about the secondary. I know Tyson Cable was injured, but he didn't play very well last year. Andre Sisco was injured, didn't play very well last year. Antonio Johnson, don't really know what he is. Ronald Darby, veteran, can't stay healthy. Darnell Savage, terrible. Jerry Jones, rookie. That's just where I'm worried. In a division with like insane wide receivers, I'm a little worried about that. Volkman says, Jason, we added a new defensive scheme. I hope Ryan Nielsen has more success to put guys where they'll succeed. Yeah. Sorry. I know this is poor etiquette. Cali Jag, life coaches can't disappear for 2 months. That one hurt, Callie. That one hurt. Oh, man. That's a good point. Steven Giles says, hey, you could try doing a special Jags United podcast once every 2 weeks where you take life lesson questions as a life coach trial run. I don't think anyone would watch. I wish they would. Maybe I'll try that. I don't think anyone would come. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just like surprise you all and be like, hey, next breakout Jaguar player. And I'll make a thumbnail. And then when everyone's in, I'm like, just kidding. We're talking about life lessons. I love the Jags. I like talking about life lessons. Again, I hope no one thinks that I'm someone that has it all figured out, because by no means or chance or anything do I have it all figured out. But I've learned some things, and I'm very observant. I love studying people. I love studying situations. And I tend to make good decisions. Timmy Devil says, sounds like our edges will not drop into coverage as much as they did last year. That's something I'm looking forward to. I also want Josh and Trayvon to being more fresh, more rotational options. I like MC, but it felt like he gave Josh and Trayvon breathers at the wrong time. Chris Dubb says, y'all are Brian Thomas doubters. He will be thunder and Gabe will be lightning. Oh, I like how you brought up Gabe Davis rather than Christian Kirk. I like that. Callie Jack says, my wife told me to say that. I was freaking out, man. Your wife sounds like an amazing person with a great sense of humor. So you, my friend, have struck gold. And tell her, great comment. That was awesome. Give her props for that. That was perfect. Jarrett says, give yourself more credit, man. I don't need like self-confidence to be myself. Some people do. So I don't care. I'm going to be myself regardless. I talked about on that show we're going to do with UCF Jaguar and Jordan DeLugo. I'm going to have to try to not be myself, but inevitably I will end up just being loud, obnoxious, and no filtered. How am I going to sit and listen to these guys talk Jags and me sit back with all of the craziness that goes through my brain? How am I going to filter? Like, I'm good at, like, talking to you guys in comments. And I'm good at one-on-one interviews because I figured that out. If I have a show with someone else or I'm talking with someone else, like I was on UCF Jaguars show last night. If I'm in that situation, just ask questions. Don't talk, ask questions. I've got that part figured out. When it's like a 3-part panel and they're looking to me to, like, give in something to contribute with the craziness that goes through this brain, I've been self-medicating ADD for 34 years, okay? How do you think I'm going to – I think I'm going to sit here and, like, here's my contribution. I'm going to try, though, and I think it'll be good. Why are we doubting – why are we doubters for tampering expectations on a rookie? I mean, you're a doubter if you don't think they're going to be like Justin Jefferson. You're a doubter. Oh. All right. I got to go. My ride's here, so I got to go. All right. Nice talking to you guys. I loved it. It was a good time. Callie Jag, tell your wife she's awesome, and she has good comments. I will see you guys, who knows, maybe tomorrow? Hey, the schedule's out the window now, boys. Absolutely out the window. We have no set date. We have nothing at a time. We're good. We're good. Hey, I appreciate you guys being here. I love all you guys from the bottom of my heart. You guys are awesome. I love you. I can't wait to see you again. Until then, as always, go Jags.